Today I'm going to be reading chapter 4 and 5 of Bang. I walk up the street past my house heading for school, and even though I don't look at my front porch, I hear gunshots anyhow. Bang! Jason's gone. Bang! Keely's cousin's gone. Bang! You gonna be gone soon too, I say, turning around and heading back to Keely's place. Before I get to his house, my dad's first cousin stops me. He's a grown-up. His name is Semple, but we just call him Cousin. He lifts weights, so it's like he's always got his chest stuck out and his muscles tight. Where you going, boy? School's that away, he points. I turn around. We stop in front of my house. I close my eyes because I know what's coming. A hug. A big long hug, like I'm some girl he likes. Hey, Cousin, I say. Cousin is always in a hurry, talking and moving fast, rushing even when he don't have to. He puts one foot up by the step and asks how my mom and dad are. I back up. Listen, man, the family, they say I look like Cousin, high yellow and gray-eyed, only I'm short. Cousin's a big man with a big mouth. When he laughs, people turn around and look. When he talks, you want to hold your ears. When you tell him a secret, though, it stays secret. Like I told him about my dad being different since Jason died, and now Cousin comes by a couple times a month, just checking. I stay a minute and tell him about Moo Moo. He's shaking his head, saying we're picking one another off faster than hard scabs. I don't know what that means. I don't care. I gotta go to school, I lie. He waves for me to come up the steps with him. I shake my head no. Just this once, he says, ringing the doorbell. He tells me I won't ever get over Jason till I can walk on that porch. He pulls at the black bars like he can rip 'em off with his bare hands. Your father in these bars, he shakes him. This ain't no house, it's a prison. Before I'd lived like this, I'd... My dad comes to the door and unlocks the iron gate. Cousin hugs him too, then gives him the book that's in his hand. This the one? My dad walks past him and stands next to me on the pavement. Yeah, this is it. He stares at the cover. There's two African boys holding spears on it. Then he gives me this "how come you ain't in school" look, and I start walking. The reason my father ain't full out crazy is because of his family. They talk to him. Take us out, fix us food, and make sure we getting on okay. They're always saying what Cousin says. Move from around here. But we ain't got it as good as the rest. Most of them went to trade school or college. My dad went in the army and learned to fix tanks. Now he's a guard at a downtown store. I'll move when I want to, he tells them, not because somebody's got a gun to my head. My father tells me to get my butt to school, then they go inside and lock the door behind them. I head for Keely's. Keely is like me. He paints. He could take collard green juice and make leaves or use tomato paste for blood. You do this? Don't touch, it's wet. He's got my front porch painted on his blue bedroom wall. Jason's there too. I turn away from the blood running out the side of his mouth. I check out Keely's cousin instead. He's an angel. He's got on orange baggy jeans and see-through wings shaped like guitars. He's sitting on the roof of the car looking over at Jason and pointing up to the sky. Keely opens a paint set as big as my desk in school. There's like 30 tubes of paint, chalk, charcoal, and a dozen brushes in it. Who stole it? He smiles. I figure it'd be cool if he could paint his teeth white. I put it down my pants and walked out the store. I wet a paintbrush, dip it in brown bronze, touch up Jason's skinny arms and legs, dip the brush in paint, and draw more charcoal black naps on Mumu's head. I stayed up all night painting it. The painting takes up half the wall, and it looks so real I can't stop staring. Keely's even got the good time bar that's up the street from us on the wall. There's trash on the ground, and girls jumping rope, and Keisha braiding Keely's hair. Right next to Jason's elementary school, there's a hoop game going on with me, Keely, Mumu, and Jason, all grown up. My eyes water. My fingers touch Jason's wet cheek. For a minute, I think about smearing his picture, wiping the whole wall clean. But even if I did, they'd still be dead. Still be gone for good. You ever want to hurt somebody, Keely? Mess him up real bad? He smiles. His green teeth look gray. Ever get tired of doing what you're supposed to do? Making everybody happy instead of you? He hands me a blunt. You smoke, you no worry, man. Keely's been smoking up his allowance money ever since his boy Kelvin got killed last year walking out of school with his arm around somebody else's girl. Moo stayed on his back about smoking weed, but he did it anyhow. It's going to get worse now, I think. I pick up another brush. You know I don't smoke. He finishes the rest, then gets down on the floor and starts eating sunflower seeds. You need to smoke something, man. Can't stay regular in a house like yours. Too many crazy people. Too much drama. I watch him shaking his leg like he does when he gets nervous or he's got something on his mind. Moo shoulda, I say. Shells fly by my head. The trash can gets picked over, and the next thing I know, I'm pulling Keely off me. Shut up about Moo. Shut up about dead people and dead stuff. I keep quiet, but not because I'm scared. I'm thinking, remembering, wondering who's going to die next. Ain't no fun playing hooky with a house full of little kids, so me and Keely go to the horse stables. Dream-A-Lot Stables is 28 blocks from my house down a valley, so even though it's not far from where I live, you don't just run into it. You got to be looking for it. Otherwise, you'll never find it. The owner asks how come we ain't in school, right when he's handing us a broom. For a 1-hour ride, we got to clean 2 stalls. When we done, we wet with sweat and almost too tired to go riding. But it's been weeks since I rode Journey, so I get on her first. And soon as we're out of the owner's sight, I smack her side, let the reins loose, and she takes off running. Keely's holding on to me. Slow down! I go faster, racing up the avenue between SUVs and hoopties, passing boarded up houses and burned out stores, forgetting about Jason and Moo, forgetting about the time somebody shot Journey too. Keely hollers in my ear, Cops! I pull back on the reins and Journey slows up. The cop directing traffic eyeballs me. He knows we ain't allowed to have a horse in the streets. But where we live, people do things all the time they ain't supposed to do. Boy, shouldn't you be in school? Keely answers, That's where we had it, officer. This here horse is our show and tell. The cop's whistle blows and his hand stops traffic. Get down! Now! Keely smacks Journey's butt. Our light turns green. Cars fly up the street, and so do we. When our time's up and Journey's back in her stall, we walk in the neighborhood for a while, then take the bus over to Keely's aunt's place. But as soon as she sees us, she's mad, and the next thing we know, she's got us in the car and headed for school. She lies to the front desk secretary. Says things got crazy at her place this morning with her husband's sugar acting up and the ambulance being called, and so these boys is late. Sorry. I wish she hadn't done that, because not coming to school is better than coming in the middle of the day. See, when you don't show up, they call your house and say you didn't come, and you can lie to your parents and say the teacher must have missed checking off your name. But when you don't come in on time and you show up later, they call your house twice. Once to say you didn't show, next to say exactly what time you did come. Then you need a double lie, and those are hard to pull off. So when I get home, my father is waiting with the strap. I make up a lie, then a different one, then 2 more. But he hits me with the belt anyway and makes me tell the truth, which gets me beat some more. I'm too old to get beat. One time I almost hit my father back, but I remembered what Moo said. When somebody dies, it makes you different. Crazy inside. Moo knew what was up because his brother got shot dead in front of him 10 years ago. It changed him. He started beating people up, stealing money, and smoking weed 24/7. You get your right mind back if folks give you time, he told me last year. If they remember how sad you really is deep down inside. My father is out of breath. He slaps his hand with the strap. You learned your lesson, boy? I want to deck him, to beat him to the ground. Only Moo would have said, give him time, man. So that's what I do. That is the end of chapters 5 and 6.